How many times have you pondered what your life would be like if you knew exactly how much time you had left? If someone were to tell you that you had just 1 year, 1 month, or even just 1 day remaining, what would you change in your life? It may sound like a thought exercise, but in reality, each of us is a time consumer, and our time is limited. Death doesn't always give us a warning, and it can strike suddenly, like a lightning bolt. This makes us contemplate the transience of life and how we use our time in this world. Great teachers of Stoic philosophy, such as Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, deeply reflected on death as a pivotal factor that influences our way of living. One of the Stoic principles is the phrase Memento Mori, which translates to remember death. Today we will discuss why the Stoics urge us to remember death and how this idea teaches us to make the most of our limited time. Before we proceed, I'd like to offer you a little experiment. Share in the comments how you would plan your year if you knew you had only 1 year left to live. As you watch the video to the end, many of you might feel the urge to amend these 1-year plans. To remember death in Stoicism means to constantly acknowledge the transience of life and the inevitability of death as an integral part of human existence. For Stoics, this isn't intended to evoke fear or pessimism, but rather to help us appreciate the present moment, make the right decisions, and live more consciously. The Stoic Seneca reasoned, "Some may think that one who contemplates death is unhappy, but this is not the case. True unhappiness is to live as if you'll never die and suddenly die, leaving undone what you could have done." In Stoicism, death is not seen as an end, but as something inseparable and natural, meant to inspire us to live in accordance with our highest values, cultivate virtues, and strive for wisdom. Remembering death helps us reassess our priorities and focus on the aspects of life that truly matter, rather than wasting time on trivialities and superficial concerns. Most of us are trapped in the routine of our days, like programmed robots following the standard script: family, work, duties, and so on in a loop. However, when we pause and contemplate the inevitability of death, it instantly jolts us out of the ordinary and everyday concerns. We come face to face with the fact of our finitude, providing a unique opportunity for deep self-reflection. We stand at the threshold, looking at the past, present, and future with a fresh, unclouded perspective. This is a time for introspection and self-understanding, an analysis of our actions and choices. We can ask ourselves questions about how we've lived our lives so far and what actions we'd like to take to make every moment more meaningful. Death is an invitation to seek meaning and value in each day, as well as to take responsibility for our decisions and actions. Stoicism provides us with a profound understanding of how to reassess our priorities and values in life, especially in the context of our relationship with death. Contemplating death becomes a catalyst capable of changing not only our perception, but also our behavior. In the modern world, many of us can truly feel as though we're living a life imposed upon us by society. This life may seem foreign and distant from what we truly desire. Our priorities and values may be distorted by the influences of parents, educational institutions, traditions, and state norms. We often feel that we lack control over how we live, as we are pulled into different standards and expectations. Stoic philosophy teaches us that our life is an art of choice. Reflecting on death as part of Stoic practice allows us to assess how well these external priorities align with our true values. We begin to ask questions about meaning, what truly matters to us, and how we want to live the rest of our lives. The Stoics teach us to look within ourselves to understand our true values and make decisions based on these values, rather than external expectations. This is a process of freeing ourselves from others' standards and embracing our own path. Contemplating death serves as a mirror that allows us to see ourselves more clearly and choose a path that is genuinely ours. Reassessing priorities and values is not an instant change, but a gradual process. It requires self-analysis, careful examination of our lives and the choices we've made. You will need to ask yourself many questions and seek answers. Some of these answers may be conventional and superficial, while others may reflect external expectations and societal norms. However, if you engage in this practice consistently and honestly examine your life, you will begin to distinguish the important from the unimportant. You will feel what truly inspires you. How can the fear of death be the fear of life? As we delve into contemplations about death, some of us may awaken to the fear of this inevitable fact. But in reality, the fear of death often masks a much deeper fear, the fear of missed opportunities, the fear that we might not live up to our potential and fulfill our dreams. This fear of death actually reflects a fear of living an unconscious and superficial existence. We aren't so much afraid of death itself, as we are afraid of dying knowing that we haven't truly lived our lives. It's the fear of departing with a sense of dissatisfaction and unfulfillment. When we dive deeper, we realize that this fear of death is in fact a fear of life. We often shy away from taking full responsibility for our choices and actions because it requires conscious decision-making and a level of personal responsibility that can be daunting. This fear of life might attempt to lead us away from real, conscious decisions and into shallow, irresponsible actions. However, contemplating death and embracing fear as part of the human experience can become the key to a conscious, meaningful life. It can help us confront our fears, start living more fully, and take responsibility for our own happiness and life's direction. What specific actions can we take right now to start living more consciously and constructively? I want to offer you a few specific pieces of advice that you can implement today. Advice number 1. Self-reflection. Begin by setting aside time for regular self-reflection. Contemplate your values, goals, and dreams. Write down your thoughts in a journal to gain a better understanding of what truly matters to you. Advice number 2. Setting specific goals. Define specific goals you want to achieve in various areas of life, whether it's your career, personal relationships, health, or personal development. Goals help you orient yourself and move forward. Advice number 3. Planning and organization. Develop action plans to achieve your goals. Planning and organization help you become more productive and efficient in your use of time. Your goals will consist of numerous small tasks that pave your way. Advice number 4. Habits and routine. Create healthy habits and establish a structure in your life. Consistency and routine assist you in making the most of your time and energy. Advice number 5. Learning and personal development. Invest in your own education and development. Reading, acquiring new skills, and personal growth make you more conscious and competent. Advice number 6. Meditation and mindfulness practice. Meditation and mindfulness practices help you stay more in the present moment, manage stress, and gain better self-understanding. Advice number 7. Social relationships. Pay attention to your relationships with loved ones. Form deep connections, maintain communication, and allocate time for your friends and family. Advice number 8. Healthcare. Physical and mental health play a significant role in conscious living. Engage in sports, eat properly, and focus on your inner well-being. Starting to live more consciously and constructively is a gradual process, and it's important to take small steps every day to move in this direction. At the beginning of our video, I invited you to contemplate and write your plans for the year, imagining that you only have 1 year left to live. This exercise can reveal your hidden desires and values, but it can also challenge your initial vision of the future. We often tend to record momentary wishes and goals that can be superficial and fleeting. However, I would like to emphasize that this is just the beginning. After you've created your list, it's time for deeper reflections. Reflections on what truly matters in your life, what gives meaning to each of your days, moments you want to create and share with your loved ones. This is when you can start giving more significance to your goals and desires. I suggest you write down all your goals and desires on paper to make them concrete and real. Then, periodically revisit this list. After contemplation and life experience, you may discover that some of your plans require adjustments. Some may become less important, while others, on the contrary, will take a significant place in your life. Such a process will not only help you better understand yourself, but also enable you to live more consciously, to build your life in accordance with your true values and desires. This is your path to a more meaningful and satisfying life. If you found this video inspiring and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive even more content about Stoicism and personal development. Also, share this video with your friends and loved ones to help them start living more consciously and constructively. Together we can make our world brighter and more meaningful. Thank you for your attention.